Whisper Library. We believe in books.
Every meaningful path gets hard. Progress slows. Motivation fades. Doubt gets loud. This is the moment most people quit. Not because they lack talent, not because the goal is wrong, but because they misunderstand what difficulty really means. Seth Godin calls this moment the dip. And how you respond to it determines whether you become exceptional or stay average forever. You're listening to Whisper Library. The dip is not about pushing endlessly. It's about knowing when to quit and when not to. Seth Godin introduces a powerful framework. Winners quit fast, but only the right things. Losers stick with the wrong path for too long. The best performers push through the dip because that's where scarcity and value are created. This book teaches you how to recognize temporary struggle versus dead ends. Avoid wasting years on paths that won't reward you. Build the discipline to push through when it truly matters. The dip is about strategic persistence, not blind effort, not ego-driven grinding. Chapter 1. The Dip. Every worthwhile pursuit has a moment when progress slows. At the beginning, improvement feels fast and exciting. Then reality sets in. Results come slowly. Effort increases. Doubt appears. This phase is what Seth Godin calls the dip. The dip is not failure. It's not a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's the unavoidable gap between starting and becoming great. Godin explains that the dip exists because value is scarce. If success were easy, everyone would achieve it, and it would no longer be valuable. The dip is what filters out the average and leaves room for the exceptional. Most people misread the dip. They feel the resistance and assume something is wrong, so they quit right before things start to matter. But quitting too early is a mistake. The dip is where skills deepen, focus sharpens, and commitment separates serious players from dabblers. Godin also makes an important distinction. Not all hard moments are dips. Some paths are dead ends. They don't improve no matter how long you stay. Others are cliffs, where continuing leads to damage or burnout. The skill is knowing the difference. The dip is temporary. Dead ends are permanent. The winners are not the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who choose their struggle wisely and push through the dip when the reward is worth it. Understanding the dip gives you power. It helps you stop quitting too soon and stop persisting too long. That awareness alone changes the outcome of almost everything you try. Chapter 2. Quit fast, quit often, but quit the right things. Quitting has a bad reputation. We're taught that winners never quit and quitters never win. Seth Godin disagrees. Godin argues that strategic quitting is a skill, and one of the most important skills you can learn. The problem isn't quitting. The problem is quitting the wrong things and sticking with paths that lead nowhere. Godin makes a clear distinction. Quit dead ends immediately. Quit cliffs before they damage you. Never quit a dip if the goal is worth winning. Dead ends offer no future improvement. No matter how much effort you invest, results don't meaningfully increase. Staying there wastes time, energy, and confidence. Cliffs are even worse. They look manageable at first, but continuing leads to real harm: burnout, debt, health damage, or loss of reputation. Smart quitters leave early. They don't wait for proof that failure is certain. They recognize patterns and act decisively. But Godin is clear about one thing. Once you choose a path worth pursuing, you must commit fully. Winners push through the dip because they understand that scarcity lives on the other side. Quitting is not weakness. Quitting is focus. The goal is not to avoid discomfort. It's to avoid wasting your life on paths that can never reward you. The best performers don't quit less. They quit smarter. And that clarity is what gives them the strength to persist when it truly matters. Chapter 3. The Cul-de-sac and the Cliff. Not every struggle is worth pushing through. Seth Godin introduces two dangerous situations that people often confuse with the dip: the cul-de-sac and the cliff. A cul-de-sac is a dead end. You can work hard, you can stay busy, you can feel productive, but no matter how much effort you invest, your results stop improving. Life in a cul-de-sac feels comfortable. There's no crisis, no dramatic failure, just slow stagnation. People stay because it's familiar, not because it leads anywhere meaningful. Then there's the cliff. A cliff is worse. It's a situation where continuing doesn't just stall progress, it causes damage, financial loss, burnout, health problems, reputation risk. Unlike the dip, neither the cul-de-sac nor the cliff rewards persistence. Pushing harder here doesn't make you stronger, it makes you weaker. The dip, on the other hand, is temporary and directional. Effort still leads upward, even if progress feels slow. Godin's message is blunt. You must know where you are before deciding to persist. Quitting a cul-de-sac is smart. Walking away from a cliff is survival. But quitting a dip too early is how potential gets wasted. The best performers don't rely on motivation alone. They rely on clarity. They ask the hard question early. Is this struggle leading somewhere better, or nowhere at all? That awareness is what separates strategic persistence from pointless endurance. Chapter 4. Scarcity creates value. Why does the dip exist at all? Because scarcity creates value. Seth Godin explains that the market doesn't reward average. It rewards what is rare, remarkable, and hard to replace. And rarity is created when most people quit. If everyone could reach the top easily, the top wouldn't matter. The dip is the natural barrier that protects value. It's what ensures that only a few make it through. Godin shows that in almost every field, business, art, sports, leadership, the best performers earn more, get more attention, and enjoy more freedom, not because they started better, but because they stayed when others left. The dip filters people out. It removes those who want quick rewards. It keeps only those willing to tolerate discomfort, uncertainty, and slow progress. This is why pushing through the right dip is powerful. On the other side is scarcity, and scarcity leads to leverage. But Godin is careful to repeat the warning. Scarcity only matters if the prize is worth winning. Enduring pain just to be rare in something meaningless is not strategy, it's ego. The key question becomes, if I make it through this dip, will I be among the best? If the answer is yes, persistence is rational. If the answer is no, quitting is intelligent. Godin's insight reframes struggle. Difficulty isn't a sign to stop. It's a signal to evaluate. When you choose the right game and push through the right dip, you don't just survive the struggle, you become valuable because of it. Scarcity doesn't happen by accident. It's earned by those who understand why the dip exists and refuse to quit too soon. Chapter 5. Winners. Quit the right stuff. Winners are not the people who never quit. They are the people who quit strategically. Seth Godin challenges one of the most common myths about success, that persistence alone guarantees victory. In reality, blind persistence often leads to wasted years, burnout, and frustration. Winners quit fast when the path is wrong. They don't wait for absolute certainty. They recognize early signs that a situation is a dead end or a cliff and walk away without guilt. Quitting the wrong thing frees up energy, time, and focus for something that actually has potential. Losers, on the other hand, cling to bad choices because of sunk costs, ego, or fear of embarrassment. Godin emphasizes that quitting is not failure, it's clarity. The key difference is intention. Winners decide in advance what success looks like and what conditions would justify quitting. They don't quit because it's hard. They quit because it's wrong. Once winners commit to a path worth pursuing, they become relentless. They push through the dip with discipline and patience because they know the reward on the other side matters. This balance, quitting early when the odds are bad and persisting when the prize is meaningful, is what separates professionals from amateurs. Godin's lesson is simple and powerful. Quit the things that don't serve your future. Double down on the ones that do. That's not weakness, that's strategy. And strategy is how winners are made. Chapter 6. The market loves a quitter, sometimes. The market doesn't reward effort, it rewards results. Seth Godin makes a counterintuitive point in this chapter. Sometimes, quitting is exactly what the market wants you to do. When too many people compete in the same space, average performance becomes invisible. The market ignores the middle. It only notices the best, or nothing at all. This is why quitting average paths is often the smartest move. If a field is crowded and offers no realistic way to stand out, persistence won't make you exceptional. It will only keep you ordinary. Godin explains that the market values positioning. Being slightly better than average rarely matters. Being clearly the best, or uniquely different, does. Quitting allows you to reposition. It frees you from battles you can't win, and gives you the chance to choose a game where winning is possible. This doesn't mean quitting when things get hard. It means quitting when the structure itself is broken, when effort doesn't change outcomes in a meaningful way. Godin urges readers to ask a hard question. If I keep going, will this path ever allow me to be remarkable? If the answer is no, the market is not impressed by your persistence. It's waiting for you to make a better choice. The goal is not to prove toughness. The goal is to win the right game. The market respects clarity. And sometimes, clarity means knowing when to walk away so you can commit fully to something worth finishing. Chapter 7. The dip is the shortcut. Most people see the dip as an obstacle. Seth Godin asks you to see it as an advantage. The dip feels long, uncomfortable, and discouraging. But that's exactly why it works as a shortcut. Because while the dip slows you down, it stops everyone else. Godin explains that the fastest way to stand out is not to look for an easier path, but to choose a hard one that others are unwilling to endure. The dip filters competition. Each moment of struggle removes people who lack patience, focus, or commitment. Every day you stay in the dip, the field gets smaller. This is why pushing through the right dip often leads to sudden breakthroughs. It's not because the work suddenly became easy. It's because the competition quietly disappeared. Godin reframes persistence as leverage. Instead of asking, "Why is this so hard?" ask, "Who else is willing to keep going right now?" The answer is usually, very few. That scarcity is what creates opportunity. The dip compresses time. What looks like a long, slow grind is often the quickest route to meaningful success. But Godin repeats the rule one last time. This only works if the prize is worth winning. Enduring the dip for a goal with no upside is wasted endurance. The smart path is clear. Choose a game where being the best matters. Expect the dip. Prepare for it. And when it arrives, recognize it as proof that you're closer than most. The dip isn't the detour. It's the way through. In the end, The Dip is not a book about quitting. It's a book about choosing wisely. Seth Godin teaches that failure doesn't usually come from a lack of talent. It comes from misunderstanding struggle. People quit too early when the path is right, and stay too long when the path is wrong. The dip is the space where value is created. It's the moment when progress feels slow, confidence fades, and quitting looks reasonable. That's exactly why it matters. The dip filters out the average. It protects excellence, and it rewards those who commit after making a clear, intelligent choice. But Godin is equally clear about this. Not all pain is progress. Dead ends don't improve. Cliffs destroy you. Only the dip deserves persistence. The winners are not stubborn. They are deliberate. They quit early when the odds are bad and push relentlessly when the prize is meaningful. This book replaces blind grit with strategy. It asks a better question than, should I quit? It asks, is this struggle leading somewhere worth going? When you answer that honestly, you stop wasting years and start investing effort where it counts. The dip doesn't punish you. It reveals you. And that was The Dip, a guide to knowing when to walk away and when to push harder than ever before. If this book made you rethink quitting, persistence, or success, then it has already done its job. This is Whisper Library, where small books deliver big clarity and ideas stay long after the words fade. Until next time, choose your path wisely and don't quit the dip that's worth winning.